The Newsweek headline said Mike Pence says freedom not socialism ended slavery. He doesn't mention what started slavery. But Newsweek ignores that the beginning of slavery is lost in the mists of time. Industrialism, driven by capitalism, ended it. Socialism is slavery under a different name. Millions remain as de facto slaves in Muslim countries today.
Aren't you about as stupid as VP Pansy? Do you drive on our highways? Do you subscribe to Social Security? How about public schools, libraries and public hospitals? Well, then you are participating in socialism. Many dictatorships use the word socialism to make their tyrannies look legitimate, but they aren't democratic socialists. Some have the facilities available, such as public schools, to educate yourself and join the modern world.
Aren't you just a good little social justice warrior, dutifully parroting what you heard in the indoctrination centers known as public schools? Look, you arrogant little ignorant warp, I suggest you move out of your parents' house and get something more than a minimum wage job and try actually producing something of value for society before you start calling people stupid. Were you fed this crap through public school or community college? I hate to think that you actually paid real money at a university to learn this sort of nonsense. You advocate for socialism because you haven't produced anything in your life of value. You do not understand how to do so. You cannot comprehend how I have done so. Yet somehow you think you have wisdom that I lack in how to best use the wealth that I have created because you righteously feel you have some sort of moral imperative that is superior to mine. Socialism is an economic system that does not recognize private property, be it physical or intellectual. In order to equitably redistribute resources to the people, you first have to take it from them. You have no right to what you produce or what you earn. All of your money, your work, even your family belongs to the state because only the state and the political ruling class can equitably distribute it. This has nothing to do with providing public services. Defense and welfare has been going on long before socialism or even Commonwealth existed. The Romans provided numerous public services, and I am sure many other ancient kingdoms and empires also did before Rome. Public services, by definition, are not the means of production and therefore have little or nothing to do with socialism. In many cases, these publicly administered services would run much better under private administration. For example, the public schools of which you are obviously a victim. I do not subscribe to Social Security, because a subscription is a voluntary act. It was originally intended to be an insurance policy. I pay into it, and what I receive back is commensurate with what I paid. The socialist aspect of it is that I have no choice. I'm forced against my will to participate. I would cheerfully cash in my Social Security policy for the amount that I have contributed, even though I'm close to beginning collection. If you had bothered to get an education instead of public school indoctrination, you would know that socialism has failed everywhere it's been tried. It's either failed catastrophically in the case of Venezuela, or countries have carefully backed away from it, as across Northern Europe. You do not have the secret sauce that makes socialism work where everyone else has failed. If you had any sort of education, you would know the ultimate truth that you cannot redistribute wealth. You can only redistribute poverty. You're too wet behind the ears to know what wealth is, where it comes from, or how to create it. You're an advocate of thievery and slavery, taking the wealth from someone else. You're too cowardly to steal yourself, so you get the government to do it on your behalf, in the name of democratic socialism. That anyone would subscribe to such an inherently and demonstrably flawed economic theory is an indictment against our education system.